Welcome to PeopleTools Tech Tips. I'm Randall Groncki. Are you missing data in your Insights dashboards? No? Yeah, I didn't think so either. Let's fix that together. Before we start, all the objects used in this demonstration, including the Insights dashboard configuration, is available at PeopleToolsTechTips.com and our GitHub site, PeopleTools Tech Tips. See the links below for both. If you're still here, welcome. I built an Insights dashboard to analyze our AW workflow for a new custom module. This looked at items such as overall status, the average time to approve each different step, and the current step. Since there were many thousands of transactions, everything looked good at first blush, but as we drilled down into the data, it became clear that the data was missing from the charts. At first, I thought I had an issue with filtering or selection within Insights. However, after some research, it became clear the problem was that the data was missing. My problem was that my drilling URL wasn't specific enough for my data. The drilling URL represented the transaction component at level 0 level. However, the data I was trying to index was at level 1 or lower. My data was overwriting itself. Let's look at a simple example of this problem and how we fix it. Our goal is to create an Insights dashboard analyzing all employee training data. Here's a simple page showing an employee's training. The employee ID and name is at top, level 0. The training data is at level 1. What we want to analyze is not the employee information at level 0, but rather the detailed level 1 course information for all employees. Jumping into our Insights dashboard, we see all of our training data. The first thing we see is that we have 142 rows of data. At first, it looks good because we have lots of rows of data to work with. But let's filter down to employee KU0010. Wow, we only have one row of data for KU0010, course K012 session 2. Going back to our PeopleSoft page, we can see KU0010 has 4 classes. Course K012 is the last course in the list. We only have the last course for that employee in Insights, not all of them. Jumping to PS Query, I'm going to run my extraction query. We can see from the query criteria that we're getting everything from the training table as of the required last update date time. Looking out at the drilling URL expression, the drilling URL is the exact key structure to navigate to our page. Running our query, we see that 245 rows are returned. We can also see all 4 rows of data for KU0010. Clicking our drilling URL takes us directly to our target page for KU0010. So here's the situation. Our Insights dashboard has 1 row of data for this employee, our page has 4 rows of data for this employee, and our query has those 4 rows of data plus 241 other rows too. In total, the Insights dashboard has 142 rows of data, not the 245 from query. We are missing data in our Insights dashboard. So, where is it going? On our Schedule Search Index page, let's run a full index for our search definition. We see that it's done at the process monitor. Let's take a look at the message log. The log says we only indexed 142 rows. We know from our query that we should have 245 rows. Where are we missing 103 rows? Our problem is in the Open Search and Insights. The key to the data is the drilling URL, not the table keys. When we sent this data over to OpenSearch, we set the drilling URL to have the proper key structure to get this component page. That is just the employee ID field. Looking at the query for this, we see that we are only providing the employee ID as a key drilling URL for all 4 of those rows. Looking at our query data for employee KU0010, we have the exact same drilling URL for all 4 rows. Every training data row sent to OpenSearch for KU0010 overwrote the row that came before it, leaving only the last row for that employee ID. So, how do we fix this? Let's look at the data inside the training table. We know that straight up we have 245 rows, and we want all those 245 rows in our dashboard. If we just use the employee ID value in the drilling URL, we only get 142 rows. Does that number seem familiar? Adding course to the expression returns 235 rows, but we're still missing 10 rows. So adding the session number to the combination of employee ID and course returns all 245 rows. Going back to the query, let's fix this by going to expressions and editing our drilling URL. It's a component URL. Employee ID is already there, so let's add course and session number. Click OK, and here we have the expression query built with the employee ID, course, and session number. The drilling URL does have a character limit of 512, so there is plenty of space for what we need. Running our query, we see that the drilling URL have been expanded for every row. Here is KU0010, and we can see that each row of data has a unique drilling URL with the employee ID, course, and session number. Schedule our search index again with this updated drilling URL. Looking to log, we can see that 245 rows are now being indexed. It looks like we have them all. Let's go back to our Insights dashboard and refresh. There are now 245 rows of data in our dashboard. Filtering down to just the employee KU0010, we have all 4 rows of classes for that employee. Going back to the drilling URL in the query, we can see that the drilling URL still works to transfer us to the correct page and transaction. The PeopleSoft component processor is ignoring the additional keys it doesn't need for the component search. The drilling URL still works. So, that's a story how I was missing data in my Insights dashboard and how I found it by properly creating a unique drilling URL for each row of data. Do you have any Insights dashboards that could be missing data? Well, now you know how to find it and fix it. Thanks for watching. Please consider subscribing to our channel, and we'll see you next time here on PeopleTools Tech Tips. Hey, camera guy, you said you went to film school. Do you even know where a viewfinder on a camera is? Well, you know, cosmetology, woodworking, pre-med, pre-law, like, it's all the same, right? No, you're funner.